For those of you who are just tuning in and haven't seen my previous video, this game is called Uprising Tempest and is inspired by My Hero Academia. Since the last time I got to do a combat test, the owner and his team have been working every day to improve the game even further. This time around, I ended up getting the quirk called Abyss. It's inspired by Shigaraki's Decay, but instead of just one-shotting someone, I drained their HP from them. I was going to try a new fighting style, but I honestly like boxing so much I had to choose it again. Me and the owner did a 1v1 just so I could get the feel of the controls again. I'm not gonna lie, the first 1v1 I was honestly terrible. He was using the hyperdrive quirk, which is inspired by Ida's quirk. He was landing combos on me left and right, and for some reason I completely forgot how to weave attacks. Honestly, my timing was just off the whole fight. I eventually got a good combo in, but it didn't matter. He ended up using this grab skill and slammed me into the ground. I thought it couldn't get any more disrespectful than that, until he used this other skill that hyperdrive has, and it just completely obliterated what little HP I had left. In the end, I got laid out and bro had me watching the night sky like I was stargazing. I'm a fast learner though, so the second time wasn't going to be the same results as last time. It was still a very close fight, but I had a better understanding on how my quirk worked, and also how his did as well. I finished him off with my decaying floor skill, which is honestly a pretty good attack if you know how to use it. After I won, he took me to the school arena and dude had me fighting like I was a gladiator, putting me up against every opponent that would challenge me. I honestly feel bad for this first guy I fought. I'm pretty sure he was new to the game as well, cause he did not have a good handle on his quirk at all. He got me with some of his attacks, but by the end of the fight, I still ended up with full HP because of my Abyss quirk. The fight wasn't long at all, but it was definitely a good warm-up fight. Also, I thought it couldn't get worse for him, but we had a rematch and I can confidently say the second fight was even shorter than the first. It's like I was gaining 10 times experience after every fight, like I was on my brawly shit or something, and the other guy had his EXP sliders on 0.1. He honestly just wasn't trying to block my attacks and it cost him the fight. Like my last combo with the uppercut would have ended his whole career. It was a good decision to go down like Ryan Garcia, because I don't think he would have came back from that. The next dude was supposed to be a strong tester or something, and honestly he wasn't as good as I thought he was gonna be. Don't get me wrong, he was still getting in those combos on me, but to be fair, it was barely my 5th fight. Till this day I have no idea what a Shikamaru looking quirk does, but I forgot to ask. This was honestly the longest fight I had the entire time I played the game that day. It was actually pretty fun too. We both were going back and forth with combos and weaving each other's attacks. It was a really cool experience to be a part of that, and was the first time I got to see how exciting the fighting is supposed to be in this game. I don't know if you guys could tell, but sometimes it looked like I was panicking during the clips, but I was really forgetting the controls again because he was the first one to actually challenge me. I really only lost this fight because I thought I knocked him out, and he was flopping around like a Magikarp, but he got back up and ended the fight. For future references, I know now not to stop attacking someone even when they're down. After that, the owner put me up against a specced out dolphin, which I have no idea why I was even fighting him to begin with. First he popped out with this Neji 8 trigram 64 palms, and then he hit me with this bubble beam attack like we were playing Pokemon or something. He could pretty much dodge all my attacks and even my skills. He also did insane damage. I still managed to get some hits in, which pretty much showed me he was nothing without his specs, but I can't blame him for having them. I'd choose to have them too if I could. I guess the really annoying thing is that he really refused to box and just chose to spam all of his skills. That's one of the biggest things I hate in games, when you have enough skills to just use them over and over again without having to even throw a punch. I know not everyone will be like that, but the fact that there's gonna be people with specs will ultimately ruin the future of the game in my opinion. It just adds an unfair element that not a lot of gamers want to deal with. Speaking of unfair topics, why is this weapons quirk in the game? Like, if you're going to have something like this, please at least balance it. On top of that, no one told me that I could at least try to weave the attack, so it made my experience against it even worse. Auto lock skills are just annoying, especially when you move out the way and they follow you. Right here I had him swinging for the fences, so you know I had to show him how to hit that uppercut. I also tried to use my AoE skill to try and avoid the damage later on. It looked like it worked, but I ended up just taking a delayed hit, which really took a huge chunk out of my HP. I'm pretty sure it'll be nerfed, at least I hope so, because right now that one skill alone is pretty busted. I really thought I was gonna win this fight, but in the second half bro turned into a demon. That sword skill really saved him from taking an L. It really just does too much damage right now. This right here had to be the funniest fight I've ever been a part of. This guy came right out the gate with every transformation from Dragon Ball, and then proceeded to take a bigger L than Krillin's fighting career. Maybe not that bad, but I'm sorry if you're coming out with Dragon Ball Z transformations in a My Hero game. I just expect you to be a lot better than that. I never fought someone with his fighting style before, so it was at least some good experience for me to get exposed to it before the exams. He was getting some pretty good hits in, but then I hit him with this nasty combo. I really didn't even know that I could pull it off until I did it for myself. Even I was shocked at what I did. He hit me with this crazy air attack that's pretty much the only reason I had any damage dealt to me. In the end, I got him with my flicker jabs, which is pretty goated with this HP regen from my Abyss quirk. I honestly got really lucky that boxing and my quirk work well together. Now we can finally get into the main reason I'm making this video. The exams to get into UA. This is just a test to see if everything works, so even if we pass, we won't actually be accepted into UA yet. The first challenge was to go around the exam area taking out prisoners and taking them back to your team's jail. The team with the most points at the end wins the challenge. These prisoners were honestly a lot tougher than I expected. Nothing too crazy, but they do have quirks, so when taking the exams, I suggest you watch out for that. I only ended up getting one prisoner because for some reason my character runs really slow compared to everyone else. Now we actually came in second place for this challenge, and the blue team tried to cheat using a glitch in the game, which will be fixed by the time the game is officially released. The second part of the exams is just a big battle royale between the 4 teams. So instead of capturing prisoners, you capture the other teams with handcuffs. The only difference is you don't have to take them all the way back every time, and you can use your key to save them if you manage to break into the other team's jail. We ended up jailing the sword guy early on, so that was definitely a good start to take him out of the game so early. He really had no chance. His furry teammate and the fire dude from earlier ended up running away, leaving him behind to take the fall. Our team really didn't stand a chance after that. It seems like every time we ran into the green team, instead of fighting to get into UA, they were trying out for the hero track team instead. This dude did try to fight, but he really just stood around while me and Dolphin number 2 knocked him. I did get lucky though because we ended up running into Dolphin number 1. Behind the same place we took out Asta, so I finally got my revenge on the spec user with not so elegant moves, but they still got the job done. He didn't cuff the other green guy either, so we ended up getting 3 people in this fight alone. It was a pretty huge win for us. But I just knew all these good things would get evened out eventually, and they really did even out after we were capturing teams left and right. We ended up running into the whole white team. Now obviously, since I was just born the same day I took the exams, the legs I have are pretty much newborn legs. I already knew I wasn't getting away, so my capture was inevitable. Me and Dolphin number 2 got jumped. At first we were really trying to fight the whole team on our own, but we both knew that wasn't going to end well. Eventually he ran away, leaving me behind, but I mean if I was faster I would have ran too. I literally had no chance against the infinite combo they had me in, so I really gave up even though I shouldn't have. I got captured first, and tell me why when I teleported to the prison, they really had more than half the blue team in there. But this part was also where we discovered another bug to help improve the next time the exams take place. I guess we were the first team to actually try and save our teammates, but the key to unlock the cuffs wasn't working. The owner ended up coming over to help us, but he just sent us back to our spawns to get out, since basically we would have been free anyways. Since we were all out of prison, we had to regroup, then had one giant fight against the remaining teams. Now I'm honestly bad at team fighting because I usually play most games solo. For this game I'll definitely have to get used to fighting along with the team, especially if there's going to be other team events in the future. The white team really put up a good fight, but we outnumbered them. They started to drop one by one, and it looked like our victory was going to be sealed. After we eventually defeated the 3 members from the white team, there wasn't a lot of time left. Seeing how there's no scoreboard for the event, we really had no idea if we were ahead or not. Now this is when it got real interesting in the exam. The last 2 members from the white team tried to storm our base to try and free our prisoners, which would have made us lose the event. Seeing how there was only 30 seconds left before this event was over, all we had to really do was keep him away from our base. He honestly got real close to getting his team out of prison, but we knocked him back and then everyone was frozen in time, indicating the end of the event. We had the most players captured, so we got first place. The last part of the exams this time around was for each team to fight 2 teachers without them being nerfed. This was really not an easy task to do. Having to fight 1 teacher would have probably been enough, but seeing how the owner isn't the best at the game, it made sense. The other teacher participating was an absolute cheat code on the game. It didn't matter how many combos we hit him with, I am 100% convinced that he can't die. There is no way you get hit that much and don't go down. Like honestly, when you fight people like that, it's not that they're good at the game, they just have hella high stats that even if you train day and night for 4 weeks straight, you still wouldn't be able to touch them. On top of that, trying to do more than a 1v1 at a time would end up just damaging our teammates. When it was my time to jump in, I already knew I was about to get folded like a pretzel. I didn't even mention that he chose the most broken quirk in the game. Those swords gotta be the most annoying thing ever. I didn't even die to that skill though. He really pulled out a spear and started hitting me with the lightning fast combos, and before I knew it, my HP went from full to 0 in only 4 hits. He was really boosted in every stat, but to be fair, he is a teacher and I'm some 14-year-old student who just got his quirk the same day. So in my opinion, I didn't really do too bad. The MVP of our team was definitely Dolphin number 2, but in the end we didn't beat Mod. But we did take out the owner. We got a 5-star performance, which I don't really think we deserved. We won the most challenges, which means we scored the highest in the exams. I don't really know what that'll do for us in the actual exams, because I don't really see how the team's performance would determine if we get accepted into UA, especially if you get really lucky like me and get carried to a victory. I just see some flaws in this method if that's how you're going to determine the classes we go to. I mean, either way, the class you get into doesn't really define you. I guess it's just a matter of if you get in. I forgot to mention, we will all need to send our prayers to the blue team after their performance in the exams. They were last in every single category, so I don't really see how it can get any worse than that. But for real though, it's just another flaw in this exam method. But I don't really know what will be considered passing. I guess we'll just have to wait and see when the game gets released or I get more information on the exams. Now if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash that like button. You have no idea how much it helps me out to get this video viewed by a bigger audience. Also, if you have any questions about the game or suggestions you would like to see, feel free to leave a comment down below. And most importantly, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and bell notification. It'll inform you guys when I drop videos like these so you can be the first ones to see them. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next one.